Cool. Good morning, guys. Back at it with another podcast, the EDH podcast.
Yes, sir.
Back again. Got my homie over here,
Yes,
Joshua, and then of course this is me, Tino.
of course.
Guys.
We'll have Damien join us today as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, food on next season. We're just giving you guys way more content than we ever did before. I think this is a good time for us to speak. I think this is a good time in society that we have people with voices that share, you know.
Yeah. Before we really get into it, because today we're going to touch on all things Cape Town cultural, what's happening in the country, what's happening in our city, you know. But just to, guys, it's been really hard to record this podcast in general, taking over. And this is something that I just actually want to talk about for a minute or two. It's timelines. I was telling someone the other day, we recorded like 2 or 3 podcasts, and it didn't work out. We had to scrap it, not happy with our energy level. And you know,
We ordered ourselves.
very hard on ourselves. Content level sometimes is not the best, or maybe it's a bit too sensitive. Like even leading to this podcast, we had a different topic in mind, and we had like a 5-10 minute debate. Should we talk about this? Shouldn't we? So there's a lot of things in the background
That we consider, that we think about, you know.
Yeah.
We're mindful of our audience, we're mindful of the message that we want to share with you guys. So a lot of background things
Yeah.
that go on, but we are trying our best to make sure that
Yeah.
we give you guys content.
And then of course we also want to keep in line with our podcast, which is the EDS. And for those who don't know, it's an everyday struggle. So kind of when we talk about everyday struggle, it is whether it's your gym routine, whether it's a relationship, whether it is I'm a Drake or Kendrick fan.
Hey.
Oh, it's
Big 6 over here.
yeah. Whether it is I support the Bafana and they lost in the last minute, even that don't ever watch Bafana. You know what I mean?
But let's touch some of these topics.
Yeah.
So look, I know obviously what happened this week is Bafana. And I know we're also going to touch a bit on the immigration.
Yeah.
But just to start off, bro, so obviously we had Bafana kick off the knockouts this
Yeah.
week on Sunday, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Round of 32, we made history.
Yeah.
We actually made history. I know people might be hard on the boys for not winning, but they made history. Let's just start there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. A lot of history has been made in this World Cup.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
not the only country.
A lot of African countries
Uh,
made history.
But I was saying to a couple of people is I know that Boca always makes us proud. They are like basically the face of our sport at this standpoint. But I think what people need to understand about soccer maybe and Bafana is there's probably over 100 countries that play soccer. Whereas rugby is a more niche. Not everyone is out here playing rugby. So to be in the top 32 in the world of soccer, I think
It's
that's
massive.
yeah.
It's massive.
You know what I mean? So
Yes, sir.
something we can be really proud of. I love it.
Look on the game itself, just looking at the analysis of the game, I think, to be honest, the boys got to put in a better performance. I think Canada was there to be won. I definitely think Canada didn't outperform us. I think we had most of the ball position. I think we played well for up to 90 minutes. I just think we lacked that attacking threat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what hurt us the most. So, yeah, it was a disappointing situation to see that the last 2 minutes we lose. But we still love the boys, we still support them, and hopefully now we can build on this one. Hopefully now we can qualify more often. We can have us going further into tournaments, and we can see evolution. And for a long time we didn't see any evolution with soccer in South Africa. You know what I mean? And we know that there's a lot of debates about the race coming. Damien.
Hey, Benji.
Yeah, I'm just touching base on the Bafana game on the weekend. I know a lot of people aren't happy, and it's easy to go back to it's Bafana. You know what I mean? But we need to acknowledge that we're far from where we came from.
Yeah.
This was a team that was ridiculed. This is a team that was made fun of, laughed at, and they literally took South African football onto the big stage. So, lovely.
And then, yeah,
a round of applause.
A nice little segue is because here today, gone tomorrow, and now we just played with us. What are we calling the immigration? The immigration, which is obviously
Hectic stuff.
So I don't really want to get into the political point of time, but this guy over here, So just turn your head to the left, turn your head to the right. The brass fight is in.
Fight is in.
But he was telling us he made it just in time for that fight. to
Yo
be
guys,
in.
I really want to talk about this. I know training can share also a lot. But I'm just thinking about this immigration. I know that this is a situation that we had a problem with. But the question is though, can we survive without our brothers and sisters?
I'll buy.
Can we survive without the band?
What are the 50 rand
Please tell
haircut?
me.
What are the 50 rand haircut?
Brother, I can't go to a salon at Blue Mall or whatever to pay 100 to 200 rand for a haircut. They're gonna put a hot bath on my hot towel on my neck. They're gonna rub my toes. I don't need all of
They're
that.
gonna offer you a whiskey
They
though.
can offer me a whiskey, cool, but I'm just to get my haircut and get out. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of other examples of how they've made our lives easier. So yeah, I know we have this thing where they need to leave, and of course, yes, the documents need to be in order, your papers needs to be in order, but just in our communities, Damien, maybe share with us, do you feel like they need it, or do you feel like we will actually be okay without it? What's your take?
I think every immigrant in a country is needed for a certain skill or a certain occupation,
Okay.
because you make lives easier. For example, you get teachers that go to the UAE.
Yes.
They're immigrants in the country,
Immigrants here.
so they teach obviously ESL, which is English in a second language,
Yeah.
whatever ESL stands for. They make lives in that specific country easy for the next person.
Okay.
Example, you teachers in the UAE, they'll teach English far more, not better, but the pronunciation of words is more native, and you can understand and teach it better. Where you have a UAE teacher that come from the UAE, yes, they know English, but the pronunciation of a certain words
That's different.
is different.
Oh, yeah.
So I think an immigrant in a specific country is important.
Yeah. But I look, the issue that we must now have is that
In our communities.
In our community,
is that we have guys that are maybe don't have papers, maybe some of them
Now
are
that's
away
the
from
thing.
their country because they're having hard wars there. So they come here, they try and make an honest living. You know what I mean?
And some of them sometimes, I can come to, I'm from Zimbabwe, I come and I open my little shop here. I work at a shop, right? I work in a retail shop, whatever the case may be. Because let's be honest, if I'm an immigrant, unless I have papers and I have my degrees and stuff, I'm never going to be on top of the food chain when it comes to jobs. But that little bit of money that I have is I send it back to my country.
That's the plan here.
So I can uplift my country, and I'm not really contributing that much to South Africa where I'm living, but I'm giving it to my family and stuff because I want them to have a better life. So that's also the thing. So another question is, how does this actually affect our communities? I don't really want to get too much into the political things like our communities, like getting a haircut, like, oh, we don't have a bread, let me go to a bar. You know what I mean?
It's just they make it convenient. I think a lot of the shops' names is convenience store.
Okay.
No pun intended.
now let's go to the deeper roots of making your life convenient. Then a foreigner, on a motorbike,
60-60.
60-60, yeah, they drop your stuff, but the salaries are different than a South African driving that bike.
It's cheaper.
It's cheaper,
Yeah.
which is also, it's make your life convenient, but
It's exploitation.
it's
but
exploiting
They-
other
from
human
the,
beings.
From the bigger companies though.
You are-
from
you
your
are-
Pick and Pay, from your Bash, from your Checkers, they exploiting because I can get someone that don't have a license properly or learn this properly. By the way, guys, on another note, am I the only one who think the 60-60 drivers and those people on scooters drive worse than taxi drivers?
No, they drive terrible because they don't. Most
Yeah.
of them don't have license because why? They are not documented.
Yeah.
So you can't go for a learner's or a license if you're not documented, or your visa's expired, but you're in the country.
Yeah.
And which makes it worse is we can shift the blame to the foreigners, but the deeper root is the government, the immigration of the country.
Yeah.
How are they managing immigration?
And also the companies. Like again, exploitation. You okay hiring 10 or 15 foreigners to drive your scooters around to do this all work. So I don't really know how the whole thing works, but you're okay with doing that because you don't want to pay a South African a proper salary where you can save your 2,000 or 3,000 rand, you will.
Yeah.
And just like, okay, so what happens to the foreigners? Don't open a buy shop, or they stop cutting hair, or they stop riding on motorbikes or scooters on the road. What's going to happen? Who's going to do their job? There's one thing we can go on the streets and we can boycott and we can loot and we can stand for one nation. But are you going to open a shop next door? Are you going to go cut hair? Are you going to go clean the toilets in a mall?
They do the work
They
that a
do
lot
the-
of us won't do.
Yeah. And if you think about this is the type of work a lot of South Africans might be doing overseas.
Yes.
Not maybe cleaning toilets and stuff, but the bottom of the barrel jobs
Yes.
where we get paid in our pounds and our dollars. So I can go there, so I can spend 5 or 10 years there, save our money, come back to South Africa and live a bit of a better life. Obviously in South Africa, it's a lot worse than it is over there because obviously their protocols and their
That's
immigration
true.
laws is a lot more stricter. But what I'm saying is, there's no different from someone going overseas who wants a better life. I think we all have a family member that live in New Zealand, Australia, whatever the case may be.
I'm an object. I hate playing devil's advocate, but I have to.
Now please go.
Look, I think there's a difference, man. If you look at countries overseas, the reason why they have so much protocol is because if you're going to come into that country, you're going to have to contribute to the government and the society,
Like I see
right?
the skill.
So if you come over as a teacher, you're coming over as a teacher, for example, you're gonna pay tax. You're gonna,
Not all countries.
not all countries, but you're gonna go there,
Yeah.
you're gonna get it, you're gonna pay tax, you're gonna contribute to the government and to the society,
course,
right?
of
And you're gonna add, you're gonna provide a skill or labor for the people, right? So now flip to South Africa. A lot of these guys are coming in. Yes, they are looking for jobs and they're making their own work cool, but a lot of them maybe don't pay any tax. A lot of them don't actually have registered businesses. They have barbershops, they have things that is not registered, so their business doesn't pay tax. They are not paying tax on the haircuts that they are cutting. And now you have us taxpayers looking at them like, but now wait man, I'm paying tax for everything. I'm paying tax for everything that I do. I'm a business owner, I must pay tax. I must file my stuff every year. Why does these people get to not do it? They get to eat off, you know what I mean? Us, while we have to follow the rules.
But one thing I can say,
You know what I mean?
there's nothing better as an immigrant than an Asian. Because they really work for South Africans. They can open their own businesses.
And they employ
Which
people.
you can also do as a South African. You choose not to. They come here to open a business. Registered or not registered, none of my business. But they're opening a business.
Yeah.
You could also open your own business.
We buy batteries and lost for 10 minutes.
You can also open your own, but you can also
No,
open
he
your
has
own
a point-
business.
He has a point like we sitting
can't
back.
say, the buys, that. They're opening their business, registered or not registered. You can also not register your business. Do you understand? So,
Of course.
Asian, they're not here to play. They're here to make money and shove their money wherever. But I'm talking about
No, but
people that take labor from a economy, such as your foreign nationals from Africa.
Okay, so now we
and then they come undocumented.
Okay, so that now this is the root of the problem. It's not the guy opening the shop. It's not the guy or the Somalian. I know we're very generalizing now, cutting away. As the guy is driving the scooter, where there could have been maybe 2 others, homegrown Cape South African driving it. Because now all of a sudden is that job that could have gone to your child and matriculator, whatever the case may be, there's a dumb sound. But now,
That's your child that want to.
that is the point. So you can't have your bread buttered both ways. Because you now going on over the foreigners, and I'm not saying that's right, but what I'm saying is, if I'm cleaning the toilet, who wants to clean the toilet over here? You understand?
And I like a job.
Okay, I understand where you're coming from, but we also can't say that because we don't know how people hire.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Like-
we don't know
Like you
that
said,
we don't have coloreds going for interviews of driving
and
a
like you,
motorbike.
and like you
We
said,
don't know cleaners that go to clean to
We
be
don't
cleaned
know.
in interviews. We're not hiring company.
and just on
You
your
understand?
point, on his
I
point,
hear you.
what
You
I
can
wanna-
easily say, Braai mense wil nie tyd doen nie. Wat mense wil nie tyd doen nie. You understand?
And
'Cause we don't know they're getting the jobs.
And that is a nice narrative to push because if I'm pushing that narrative, no, we don't want this job, so the foreigners is getting. It's okay, now some accept it. But we never ever challenge that, like you said. We're not a hiring company. You know what I
We're
mean?
not HR. We don't know anyone that went
Yeah.
Did you know? Do you know anyone that went for interview for a motorbike driver for 60? No. So you can't say drive means you can vehicle in that specific field.
Yeah.
You understand?
And a lot of them are also taking out Uber jobs. You know what I mean? Maybe 50% of Uber drivers is foreigners.
Yeah.
Where that could have been like the Uber drivers already complaining that there's so little jobs out there. So now all of a sudden it's just like if they had to go, there would maybe be more trips because there's less Uber drivers. So there's also another thing.
Okay, but weet gesê jy word gefried wees. Do you make your own price as a Uber driver?
No.
Is it?
Now Uber generates the price and then
Is it the kilometers?
they take 25% of what that's why a lot of Uber drivers will tell you, take my number down. Or you should actually also Uber driver that. Because if I have a good trip with the Uber driver and I take the name down and the number, I can be like, yo bro, can you love from here to Blue Route more? And then instead of paying 100 rand, I give you 50 rand. He then gets just 50 rand clean, whereas with 100 rand or 80 rand that I would normally pay, I think 25% goes off, man. And then he gets paid like.
But we don't want to take that trip from here to Pick n Pay. We want to take the trip from here to town.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So you can't say that with Uber, or you can say it because that's your opinion, but you can't say again that colors are not getting or South Africans are not getting the jobs. We don't want to take the trip again.
No,
We don't want to
I
go
disagree.
for that interview.
No.
Or to
Can I
do
say
that.
something? I think it comes back to what we said earlier, exploiting. So the companies or whatever, let's just be honest.
That Uber can't exploit.
Let me make an example. You said now, does our people get the jobs or whatever? And I think I can go down to the employers because if I now have a job, right? I'm in the construction, right? I'm a foreman, right? If I'm gonna hire colored, I'm gonna have to pay him a certain amount because this guy's gonna have a tax number, he's gonna be registered as an employee, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna have to pay him at least the minimum requirement by government standard, right? Which is maybe 3,500 to 4,000 rand. Just for example,
Yeah.
right? You're not gonna discriminate now. But now you have a foreigner that doesn't have any papers. He will do the same job for 2,500. So ask yourself, if you're the employer, you're gonna look at Damien that needs 4,000 at minimum, and maybe every year he needs an increase and a bonus, whereas this foreigner will do the same job for me for 2,500. He doesn't care about bonuses, doesn't care about nothing. You might just pay him. You know what I mean? So it's also beneficial for companies to employ these people because it's going to come cheaper out for them when it comes to salaries. How much people do you see lining up on a freeway waiting for a truck to come past so they can jump on it? None of those people have probably papers. They're getting jobs day by day from construction people. They jump on that truck, they get paid on that day. Each one get a 300 rand or 400 rand, that's alright for them. You know what I mean?
And that's
Because
where
there's a-
skill also come in.
Yeah.
Because if you look back at their educational systems in their countries, their people specialize in their higher education, vocational learning, masonry work,
They already
construction. They already learn trades
prepped, yeah.
at school.
So when they come here, as you can grab them and say,
you
"You
understand? I can grab it because you can do that masonry work. You
Yes.
can do construction work because
can
it's
work
part
in-
of your
you
educational
can
system
work
in the
in-
country that you come from.
in the kitchens."
Where I blame the present educational system for taking that trades away in schools. That woodwork, that metalwork, those things played a big role in that time. People could have now put a casino now, your uncle. Because it's something they learn.
Without the education needed.
Without the education needed.
Now I must drop 200,000 rand over a period of 6 years to do that. But sorry guys, on another note, I just Google something there. Foreigners account for roughly 4 to 6% of the total South African labor force, making it up to approximately 1.2 to 2 million workers. While this proportion is relatively small, foreign-born individuals have a higher labor absorption rate, around 64%. So just to read that again, foreign-born individuals have a higher labor absorption rate. So that's you moving over here. My understanding of it is you starting your family and that person is getting a job. So if I move over here, I'm a foreigner, I'm starting a family, I have 3 or 4 kids, they're also gonna get jobs. So
Remember, it's not foreigner, no?
huh?
A foreigner.
No,
It's an immigrant.
It's an immigrant, yeah.
Because remember, a foreigner is someone that comes to a foreign
Yeah.
country to visit a holiday.
Immigrant is someone
Immigrants
that's
come here to work.
Yes. Yeah, that's why I said foreign-born individuals.
Mm.
No, it's foreign-born, but yeah, just to give you a breakdown of that. But this is this is the climate we are in now. But I mean, earlier the year there was a problem of the jobs were down by how much percentage? It was all over the radio. It was at the all-time low. I think it was in the 40s, and it's really tough out there, man. It's really, really tough out there, and it's like. So the question I have for you boys is, you now 2 years unemployed and stuff. Joshua 2 years unemployed, Diamond 2, you have your family, maybe you don't have a family, maybe you're only supporting your mother and your father. Are you at home smoking weed every day, drinking, running around? Or are you picking up a mop and you're like, I will sweep the streets, I'm willing to clean someone's toilet in the mall? Are you guys doing that?
I think you know what the issue is, no? It's in society, in our societies, is the standard of living. You understand? So, for example, those immigrants come in and their standard of living is bare minimum. They just open up a shack. All they have in the shack is a bed, and for 9 to 12 hours of the day, they don't mind going out and working their asses off. And when they come home, all they need is a bread and water and a bed and a bucket to wash in, and they're ready to go again tomorrow. Whereas us, our standard of living is slightly a bit different, where we still want to have Netflix, we still want to have this, we still want to have that. So now I can't go and do that job because it's not going to support my standard of living. I want a liquor job. So I will sit at home until how am I going to look? So I'm going to sit at home until I get a liquor job. Not like you saying, okay, well, while I'm unemployed, let me go do a cleaning job until I can, No, I'm going to sit at home and I'm going to wait for a liquor job.
But that's where our mentality has changed.
Yeah, they're not going to sit at home and wait for a liquor job. They're going to do whatever it takes.
Because we're looking at cousin that is working for Old Mutual.
Yeah.
We're looking at cousin that has his own practice in Westridge as a doctor. That we were looking at.
Sorry guys, sorry. South Africa's official unemployment rate stands at 32.7% as of the first quarter of 2026. With over 8.1 million people unemployed now. But yeah, listen to this. The expanded measure of unemployment, which includes discouraged job seekers. So that is to your point you guys making. I don't want to sweep the street. I don't want to work at KFC or McDonald's. Is even higher at the 43.7%. So that's just to double down on your guys' point is I would rather lamb at home smoke my weed because I don't want to be seen in a KFC Tuki.
My cousins and they come buy KFC by me.
And I'll cut my.
Do you understand? If you look at the past, we didn't care about working in a factory. We didn't care being a cleaner in someone's house, as a white person's house. Why? Because our society is all doing it.
Yes.
That's why your foreigners don't care. Because most of our people in this country are Uber drivers.
Okay,
or scooter
Okay, but how long ago was that when you said we didn't care?
We didn't care like 30 or 40 years ago.
So we're saying in the apartheid era, but you understand, back then it was, and I'm not justifying it, I'm not saying it's okay, boys. It's definitely not okay. At the end of the day is, me personally, I will pick up toilet paper. If it means that my family needs to eat, that's me. Other people shouldn't have the same mentality as what I'm saying is, 30, 40 years ago it was apartheid. So, education was low for our colored and black people and stuff. So you work in a factory, it was okay. Because that is all that was offered.
So what you're saying now is, it's more embarrassing now because there's more opportunity. So if I work in KFC or the neck of my head, people are going to look at me like, you didn't have so much opportunity to do better, why are you working at KFC?
Of course.
When 40 years ago it was nothing.
Exactly, and also remember, Joshua, you pick up the toilet paper, you clean the toilet so your daughter don't have to do that.
Yes.
Because that is what evolution is not. For me, evolution is not I came from a baboon to a ape to a monkey to a fucking human being. Evolution can also look like that.
Yeah.
I will carry the hot bricks, I carry that, so you don't have to. You understand?
Yes.
Like if you watch the movie Rocky, goated movie by the way.
Yeah.
Rocky was a fighter. He was not a smart or intelligent guy, but he was a fighter. And he never ever wanted his son to be a fighter. In the movie, he said, I think in part 5, I took the blow so he didn't have to. Because that is not the sport. Okay, understand? That is now obviously the context of the movie because fighting is a very elite sport at the moment. But what I'm saying is, so we take the punches so we don't have to. You understand? If it means you need to clean someone's shirt and pee and urine for the next 20 years so your daughter can be a lawyer and accountant. I must tell you that today.
Yes. You're going to take it.
Anything.
But you see, there's a social media era that comes into play. So I don't want to be caught on social media serving someone a McD style special. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that is now in play that people is so concerned and scared about. I don't want to get caught on TikTok saying, "Yo, maybe look what this one doing now," because it can happen. My brothers come from a late night of partying, 3 o'clock, and they catch me at the KFC. They're gonna video me. Oh, film me.
But can I
You know what I mean? It's gonna be one
But
of
I don't
those.
understand what
Sorry.
happened to that words, no? Africa belong to Africans. You know how you know what type of people are laughing at us?
the rest of Africa is?
They're laughing at us.
Say again.
Your,
Africa belongs to Africans.
yeah,
It does.
but I mean, check what we're doing to our foreign nationals.
Yeah, but we have to put some discipline
We
in.
have to
We
tell you.
But
can't
it's
let the
not
media
up
just-
to us. It's not our on we making government's job
Yeah, but
easier.
they're not doing their job. So we are, as people, if you see crime in your community, are you gonna wait for the police to sort it out, or are you gonna stand up and say enough is enough?
It's the same with apartheid,
You
Diamond.
can't sit and wait for
You
these
couldn't-
people, bro.
If we had to stop and wait for apartheid to end,
We'll still be-
we'll still be in apartheid.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying it's right.
So our jobs.
It's not right to loot a buy shop and
Not the right to kill someone.
It's not right
Yeah,
to kill-
that's crime. That's crime.
Yeah,
They're
but-
committing a crime.
Yeah, but I mean, yes, there's a difference.
There's a difference,
There's
bro.
a difference between I'm standing and taking a stand and me robbing someone
Yeah.
and taking their food that they worked for the last few years or and killing someone.
That's different.
You know,
That's
that's-
criminal.
But they can't boycott. That's what South Africans forgot how to do.
Yeah.
Why don't you not 60-60 stuff? If you so against immigrants, why are you still on checkers 60-60? Do you understand what I'm saying?
But that is the whole world, Diamond. That is not us. Look, we are in South Africa, so we know everything that is happening. Not everything, but we know what it is. Don't do that and say it's an African thing. Because I promise you go to United States, you go to other parts of Europe, the climate is looking the same. There was a South African just before the World Cup started. He lived in South Africa. He's been living in America for 20 and 15 years, and he said, "I can't wait for this World Cup to start because I actually want the world to see what America is about.
Yeah.
How dirty the streets is, how much people is living on the street, the unemployment rate. It's not all Hollywood out here, but that is just to give you an insight. Of course, we can also paint Cape Town as beautiful, Camps Bay, Table Mountain, Muizenberg, but we're not going to take you to the street of your Lavender Hill or your Mitchell's Plain and stuff. We show you the good part, so don't think that this is subjective to us, man. It's like that all over the world, you know what I
All
mean?
over the world.
So-
It's just that we now deciding to deal with the matter. You saw in America, ICE, they dealt with it in a way
It's worse
that
than
people
us.
didn't, and people didn't like the way they dealt because they were harder. On a day like this in America, they were literally army coming out and just like
People-
dragging people
Yeah.
out of their houses, dragging them out of their workplaces. Literally, whether you have papers or not, they didn't care. Someone died.
Yeah.
A woman got shot. You know what I mean? So
Two people got
if you look at our scenario, it's actually still very much peaceful. I know there was xenophobic attacks in the past, so I'm very mindful of the xenophobia that's happening. But it's just people that's fed up because the government hasn't did anything about it. You know what I mean? Our government is literally taking a soft approach with everything. And they're afraid of
Because of democracy.
the democracy that we have here.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Can I ask a question, guys? What, maybe just to cap this podcast now,
Yeah.
just like final thoughts on just this employment, right? Because for me it's very important now.
That way.
So also you get paid 20,000 rand a month to work at a shop, right?
Okay.
You wear that ugly clothes and stuff. Are you taking it? No, I'm asking.
If it's the money, yes.
So again,
If the money is good, yes.
So then again, you need to balance off the money.
But the clothes don't look so bad anymore.
That's what I'm saying. So now
And that yellow don't look so. You know what I mean?
the yellow don't look so bad, and that is what I want to bring it back to. As
Oh.
someone that works in retail is, I could possibly get paid more than someone that works at head office. I know I do.
Yes.
You understand? So people will be like, oh, you know, working in retail. Yes, motherfucker, I work in retail, but I might get paid more than someone that works over there.
In an office
then,
job.
Then in an office job. So then that is really, then all of a sudden, so there's a whole stigma of you working at the KFC, you working at the call center and stuff.
Yeah.
There can be someone in the call center who's 18 years old that get paid more than someone that works in the office.
True.
You understand? And that is what we also need to realize. So I bring all of that back is, yes, you can sit in a fancy job and you can wear your tie and you can sit there in the office and you can say, no, I'm an admin assistant or I'm an admin to a dentist, but you can leave with the 8,000 rand. Whereas with someone like me, I get my medical aid, I get my
You get your
UAF,
benefits.
I get my 13th check, I get my pension fund, I get all of that and I get a decent salary.
Yes.
With someone that might earn 1,000 rand more than me
Yeah.
because they work in the office, but they don't have the benefits.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
My leave days is more than the average person. What I'm saying is, guys out there is, comparison is a thief of joy. So that's what I'm saying is, pick up a broom and sweep and don't ever think there's a job that's too good for you, man. That's what I'm saying. Don't think that you sweeping the street makes you a racial person.
Yeah.
In fact, I hate it when, and this is a community, a colored community, because my family and my friends live in houses where they will celebrate a fucking druggie or addict or a drug selling or a gangster driving the latest car and stuff. That don't impress me. But you are worshiping, they are idolized. Why? They didn't work hard for that money. We always want to talk about the gangsters in the community that and the people who sell drugs and drive this car and stuff. You want to impress me? The father that goes out and cleans the toilet, man. You understand? But we don't know because we just see this glamour. Come on, Jamie, you teach in an underprivileged school. You know what it is? No, you know what it is. What is celebrated and what is okay, man. But you want to laugh at the mommy that is a cashier at ShopRite.
Yeah.
Override, please, supervisor. You want to laugh at that people, but it's an honest living.
Dus kinders wil idolize. En het soort van young. Kinders, zijn broeken, mannen zijn broeken wat hier bij julle holle.
Ja.
Ik zie eens maar van hulle, weet je hoekom word die mense wat doodgeskiet, ne? Hulle broeke hang altyd hier, van hulle kan nie haloopie.
That's my
Hulle word altyd geskiet. Die gangsters hou vir hulle dop wat sy broek wat so hang. Ons skiet vir hom want hy is die stadigste. Ons skiet vir hom wat sy fiets los is. Ons skiet vir hom eerste want hy gaan oor sy voete val. That's what the children idolize.
What a teacher, what a teacher.
They idolize bullshit like that to get you killed at the end of the day.
But the problem is they can only idolize what they see.
Yes, the man with the trouser, act of the trouser every
And
day.
it's the message that get painted. So in school, what do you tell the kids? If you're not gonna learn your work, you're gonna end up sweeping the floors.
That, and I'll never say that again. And that's where the teachers are wrong.
But that's facts. Your
Oh,
parents and
shit.
people, the adults stuff will say, make sure you do your homework, otherwise you're gonna work at shop.
And what is wrong
It's
is
not
like that.
there, Tino.
not there.
So it's not about.
I will never tell my learners
They-
that.
You are told from a young age that is failure.
Yeah.
So that's why when you get in that position, you feel like a failure. Or
Yeah.
when people come up there, they're like, oh, this is a failure because I was told if I don't know my homework, this is where I'm going to land up.
Yeah.
So everybody now, so we don't know the backstory of that auntie
Yeah.
that needs to provide and she has to go do that job.
Yeah.
We don't know her backstory. We just know that we were told if that auntie will do that auntie is a failure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, as the notorious B.I.G. The first 10 minutes for those who didn't watch it, where they tell Biggie he's gonna be a rubbish collector because he's not paying attention and stuff. And then he goes home and he asks his mommy how much does a third man earn per year? And he says, for example,
Yeah.
$2,500 for the year. We're talking now dollars, guys. Then he comes to school and he comes on the board and he kind of embarrasses the teacher. I heard a teacher gets paid $2,200 a year, and a rubbish man gets paid $2,500. So by that account, I will get paid $300 more than you. And it's so funny because it comes back to my point. Don't think because you're a rubbish man or you work with a council, you're not eating your bread.
Yeah.
But
Hulle het medical aid pension van wat het jy?
Ja.
Daai groot geld.
But society has painted these
Yeah.
jobs as failures. And that is the reason why today, to title up, that's why today what you're finding is, instead of us going and doing those jobs, we would rather sit at home because of what society has already put into our minds. And if I'm going to go do this or I'm going to go do that, I am seen as a failure. I cannot be successful.
Yeah.
Whereas now, foreigners are saying, we were never told that. We were never raised that they say that is a failure. We were raised get it by any means. We were raised provide. So, you still want to clean the roads? We will do it. Oh, you don't want to be a barber? We will do it. They will do whatever it takes. You know what I mean? And they will earn more than us because they're willing to do the job.
and they don't know about everyone having their own room, about privacy.
Yeah, sometimes the standard of living is not similar to ours. They don't mind all of us sharing a room. You know what I like so much about them? They don't mind sacrificing. They will sacrifice, like a barber, for example. I have conversations with him. They will tell me, I'm here every day from 7 till 8. Monday to Sunday, no days off. And I'm working. But they have a plan of, I'm doing this for 5 years. Cool. When that 5 years is done, they go back, they're balling it home. You know what I mean? Will we ever lock in like that? We need our weekends. Now I can't work so late. We still very spoiled.
Jy moet op hier sê. For weekends.
We will never lock in for 7 days straight,
If I
for
could
5 years straight. We always want our weekends, we always want our off days and
Yeah.
public holidays. We still want our this, we still want to, we can't go too late.
Which-
I want my lunch break.
Which on its own is
My
also,
tea, my tea,
My
my
tea, my
leave.
tea, my leave, my
My
leave.
leave.
which is also,
We will never lock in, bro.
which is also a privilege in its own, man. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But guys, to end the pod off, if you see a buy out there, if you see a barber, go cut your hair, go buy that. But there's a budget to rent more than in ShopRite or Pick n Pay.
Support the
him, and maybe there's a time you still appreciate it more.
Yeah.
And
Shout out, bye.
And also-
shout out the buys.
then, and,
Shout out Hassan.
Shout out, son.
yeah, guys, we'd like to stay longer, but we got a hike, we got a mountain to hit. We got a mountain because we all love it that good
All
ride.
the clouds come over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Guys, it's been there. Peace out.
Peace out.
Catch you in the next one. Like, subscribe, and support.
Oh, yeah. Don't tell me that.
Hang on.
Offers to up on the dot.